It's a bear, and it sure looks like it is. Good morning. Hey, what's up, folks? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. And I know I always say beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea, but we can back it up. Take a look at this day. It's absolutely gorgeous. The last couple of weeks, it's been really cloudy and stormy and very windy, and the waves have been really choppy, not enough to go surfing on, and too crappy to go out in the boat on, too big to actually go on the boat on. But take a look at today. It is just lovely. 77 degrees too, man. Blows my mind. This is why I love Florida here, this kind of weather and these kind of conditions out here. Even though it's not the best condition for surfing or fishing, both things I love, still I love these kind of days. Well, hard to love these kind of days if you're new into precious metals. However, if you're a seasoned expert like myself and been doing this for, I've been doing this since 1977, these are just the Monkey Hammer Monday, Monkey Hammer Friday, a pattern that's been going on for quite some time. No, it's not a conspiracy either. We know for a fact these markets get monkey hammered by big short positions, commercial short positions in gold, and commercial banks and silver, both markets. And that's exactly what we see going on in the gold market right today. Again, Monday. I wonder when it started happening. I think it started happening in New York. They're back to their Monday morning monkey hammering. It's either Friday or Monday or Sunday nights on I think since that last $100 smackdown in gold that whoever did that, that was back in August or something. Remember when that happened? That big overnight smackdown Sunday night. You went to bed and you woke up on Monday morning and the market was, goddamn nearly $100, like $80 or something like that. That happened overnight. Just blatant, in your face monkey hammering, manipulation. Even people that have been naysayers about manipulation in the gold and silver markets for years had to say, oh well, it's possible. It sure looks like it. Again, no news on it, no commercial media reported on it whatsoever. They just hide that stuff. They don't care. They don't want to bring it up anyway. But no less, let's take a look at what markets we got going on now. It looks like we put in a low so far. I'm going to do this real quick, do an update. Yeah, it looks like our low is in so far at 1812.90. I suspect that will be the low for the rest of the day. Tough to say though. And a high of 1849. We'll take a look at the 24-hour chart here in a moment to get when and where. And 1814 currently, so a couple bucks above that low that's bounced off probably just recently here in the morning in New York. Again, we'll take a look at the 24-hour charts. Silver, I'm just blown away with the strength of silver, seeing gold getting hit by almost a $32 here, and gold kind of maintaining in that 15-cent range. Heck, even on a quiet day in gold, silver will move in 50-cent ranges. So this is a bit odd to me that it's only 24.50. But I have a sneaking suspicion that I've told people for a long time here, and of recent, that you got to watch on videos. But I've told people for a long time before I started doing videos that really, even if you just buy silver and or platinum, I should say, silver or platinum, but silver, you have to watch the price of gold, because where gold goes, silver will ultimately follow, and I believe that to be on the upside and the downside. Silver seems to be occasionally, and silver seems to be more like the middle sibling, the not so smart middle sibling that gets a while to get it. The uptake is a little bit slower with silver than it is with. I'm not sure about platinum, but I think platinum as well. So when gold moves down big, you're going to see silver move down, and when gold moves up big, you're going to see silver move up big. I am curious right now, what is this current ratio? This is kind of interesting. Let me ask Siri up here in the corner. 1814.98 divided by 24.48. And let's see. I don't think my mic can. Oh, there it is. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me try that one more time. Sorry about that, folks. 1814.98 divided by 24.48. 74. So we're sitting at about a 74-to-1 ratio with gold to silver right now, and that's not outside this norm. I think the average for a 30-year average, and maybe I have this wrong, but I think the 30-year average is around 65-to-1 or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit higher. I'm not sure. I heard some people quoting a little bit higher average for 30 years. Again, 30-year average. But let's take a look at silver right now. High at 24.91, damn near, probably last night or the opening markets last night, damn near that $25 mark still. and only trading, not too far below 50 cents, and off by 24.33 was a low. I think that's been put in already because we're sitting at 24.50. And platinum, and we'll look at the 24-hour charts for both of these metals. And platinum down to 10.30 sure seems like a great buy. I mean, she was bordering on that $1,100 mark not too long ago. These dips right here, folks, provide a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to buy at a lower price. Don't. For me, I've been doing this a long time. Again, I'm a seasoned precious metal retailer and wholesaler in the physical markets, not in the paper markets, not my expertise, never said it was. I'm not a chartist, but I know the physical markets, having to have watched the physical markets 5 days a week for the last, I can't tell you how many decades. You do tend to spot patterns. You'd have to be dumb, really. You wouldn't be too smart if you couldn't spot patterns if you've been doing something for such a long time. So I do spot patterns. I spot patterns in these manipulations that I was recognizing before I even started reading about manipulation. I knew it was happening. I could just tell by the patterns, by the way the trading is, and by the physical demand and the physical selling. And speaking of physical selling, when you see these big dumps like this, in last August, that $100 monkey hammering that happened, fraudulent monkey hammering, because remember, the monkey hammering typically only happens on, was typically happening on Fridays, and then kind of Monday or Sunday nights and Monday mornings is when you would see monkey hammering for a long time in the precious metals market. Now, of recent, the last 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I don't know exactly, I lose track of time a little bit, but the monkey hammering has been happening during the week, a little bit opening, the opening market in the morning. In New York is where we've seen most of the action, and I think that's what we're going to look at today. So let's move over to that 24-hour chart, 24-hour gold spot chart right here. And I'm going to do a quick refresh, and we can see last night, while we were all watching, here we go. There's Friday's close, gold is sitting in that 1850 range, right about there. And then Sunday night opening, right, again, look kind of a clean line all Sunday night. And then this morning, take a look. I think that's probably the London market, I believe, or the Hong Kong market, steady. Guess where the monkey hammering happens? NYMEX. Guess who owns NYMEX? The CME group, COMEX. That's where the monkey hammering is happening. This is where these manipulative, and I say fraudulent trades are happening with the nod and a wink from the CME group, who's allowing COMEX to let this happen. Remember, CME group owns COMEX, from my understanding. And they're allowing these large commercial positions, these large commercial shorts. That's what this is right here. This is a large commercial bank, or a couple commercial banks, or more than, at least two. I think, what does he talk about? 4 to 8. I think that Ted Butler is the guy that talks about the 2 to 4, 4 to 8. Anyway, my head's a little foggy this morning. Speaking of which, let me get another sip of coffee here. But this is a direct result of fraudulent, in my opinion, manipulative, which is not opinion, which is fact, manipulative behavior by commercial banks being allowed by COMEX and CME Group. They're in trouble, folks, though. This is why you're seeing this action happening. It's like a struggle between good and bad, or I should say the shorts and the longs, because you can't say shorts, market going down is bad either. It's just natural. But you can say that there seems to be a little tug of war going on here with precious metals, and these commercial banks, I think, are on the losing side of this trade right now, these short positions, and they're doing everything they can not to lose too much. Well, I don't know if the commercials are losing that much money. My understanding is they lay these bad trades off on the managed money. But again, take a look at when this is allowed to happen, no matter who the players are, and there's speculation on which particular players that cause this market, but CME allows it, COMEX allows it, and look when it's happening, and it's been happening. If you look at this line, 24-hour spot chart for the last month, 2 months, whatever it is, you'll see that the monkey hammering. However, the upside action as well has been happening at the opening of New York and lasting until noontime for the most part, and then ending kind of flat line for the day, although we have seen some continuous lines on the upside and downside throughout the afternoon as well. That's just a pattern I've been spotting here. There's a lot of action going on in this market, folks. Silver, the same thing. Take a look at this, but not as drastic. Really, I'd expect with the huge gold move downside that we saw, that we would have seen a larger move in silver. Maybe we did this morning 24.30, but still not as big as you would think. Silver can make those huge dollar moves pretty fast and easily. It did not this morning as of yet, and it doesn't look like it will. It seems like we kind of flattened out here. Let me take a quick look and see if that line's flattened out. Yep. Again, great opportunity to buy the dips here, folks. Being in this business as long as I have, I can tell you I'm not nervous about these down moves. You know, you only have to worry about these manipulative down moves and these spikes like this you see. And you remember the $100 smackdown we saw? You know, it recovers. It just recovers. Sometimes it takes a little longer to recover, but you know, the overall trend of both gold and silver is up. If I was to follow my cursor right here, the overall trend is like this. Say, you know, this is it. To ultimately always higher prices. Now, you're going to see down days like this, but this ultimate line right here, if I was to continue this, and I don't need a crystal ball to show you this, but see this November 22nd, right now, here we are right now. You're going to see this for, again, not exactly this, but this is what the gold and silver market's going to look like for the next few decades or more. Some of these up lines and down lines are going to be a little higher, but the ultimate trend in a debt fueled world, in the greatest bubble of all time we're currently in right now, the overall trend line of gold and silver is up. So if you can catch these dips, buy the freaking dips, man. What else is going on out there? Well, listen, we also know that a lot of manipulation. I hope at some point that that myself and other people, you know, I learned a lot about this manipulation from reading stuff online. I think early in the day with gata.org, Andrew McGuire had been one of the whistleblowers out there, and gata.org, which is right here, has been talking about manipulation for a long time. So has Ted Butler, who I recently subscribed to his newsletter, and I enjoy immensely. I think he has a lot of insight, and probably one of the few people in the silver market that completely understands how that market is manipulated and why. You know, and for years and years and years, they've been telling you know, I was told that, oh, Brian, by people in the industry, not in the bullion industry, but in the rare coin industry, that, and, you know, rare coin people also do bullion, but on some of the forums in the past, in my industry, I've been told, oh, when I brought up manipulation and fat finger trading and spoofing, I was called right here, a conspiracist. You know, and I'm telling these people, I'm telling you, they're eating us. And I'd hear from people like this, you know, you and your conspiracy, and smart people too, people with degrees in economics, people with degrees and various people I consider smart are just because you have a degree, I guess, doesn't make you, it makes you maybe book smart or something, but doesn't necessarily make you wise and smart. I don't even know how to phrase that, but a lot of smart, so-called smart people, and maybe they are smart in what they do, but when it comes to precious metals, they don't know shit. Or their denial about it. That manipulation did take place, has taken place for years and years and years. I mean, take a look. Where is this right here? And the rigging at the very core of the gold market is officially confirmed. We talked about that last week. Let's just kind of read this. Bullion Star Ronan Manley summarizes tonight that the investment banks, again, something we talked about last week, and I said this exact thing, is that the investment banks agreed to pay a $152 million fine. Why did they agree to pay a $152 million fine? Because they were manipulating and spoofing the gold and silver markets. It's done in London, it's done in COMEX. However, the funny thing is this fine that they get, it's like the fine that JP Morgan got back in whenever it was. They got caught, they got fined almost $900 million or some crazy amount like that, but they made billions and billions, and they continue to make billions. They hold the largest position of silver out there. Folks, these markets are rigged across the board. It's not just gold and silver markets. The recent fines that were paid, where did it go right here? The recent fines that were paid by these people for rigging was also in the treasury market as well. Maybe they thought they could get away with, and they did, and they still do, get away with manipulating the gold and silver markets. They absolutely do get away with manipulating gold and silver markets. And COMEX, CME, London, they allow it to happen because they make a tremendous amount of money off these trades. So they allow it to happen. But no less, I kind of digress there. What he does point out, look at this, maybe that no major financial news organization has yet reported the settlement. Isn't that odd that these banks that got caught for outright fraudulent behavior, manipulating gold and silver markets and treasury markets from what we know now to be a fact, not a conspiracy? So the people that call you a conspiracist or said you've a conspiracist in the past, they're eating crow now, mothers. Those mother effers are eating crow now, and it's true. You can't be in denial about this stuff. They do rig it. However, as I've said in the past, and I've said many times, I'm experienced in this market. I know that the overall trend, this is like a roller coaster ride to the moon. The destination is up. Up with gold and silver, no matter how you look at it. So I don't worry about this manipulation and monkey hammering. It's only temporary, and again, it provides us an opportunity to buy at much cheaper prices. And what have I always said? Of course the game is rigged. Of course, I'm going to get you the little meme. Of course the game is rigged. I probably spelled that wrong. Let me see here. I'm not the best typer. Of course the game is rigged, but there we go. Aha, there's a bunch of different rigs there. Of course, the game, oh, there we go, game. I guess I ruined it already. I was going to do a nice little thing here and pull up the meme, but hey, we're in the middle of it. And there's one of my favorite sayings right there. Of course, the game is rigged. Don't let that stop you. If you don't play, you can't win. This applies to everything, folks, not just the gold and silver markets, but I suppose it applies to equity markets, housing markets, you name it. Of course, the game is rigged, but if you don't play, you can't win. You just have to be know who the players are that are sitting around you, know how they cheat at the game, or know who the big whales are, and understand that the casino, the house, the people that, the regulators, the people that control that market, COMEX, CME, get who I'm talking about, London, Bullion Exchange, get who I'm talking about. Those people are the casino, and again, they cater to the big whales, and they allow them to get away with this manipulation and this fraudulent behavior. And yes, I'm going to say fraudulent. It is fraudulent. Well, anyway, I don't want to keep going over and over that stuff. Like I said, let's do a quick refresh on metals. I'm just kind of seeing where we're going from here. Yeah, we're kind of more on the upside, so I imagine that those lines are going to flatten out, and we're going to see this or thereabouts for the rest of the day, maybe a little higher prices. I'd be surprised if they get it much below 1,800. Let's see what happens at the end of the day. I think it'll be a good idea of what happens for the rest of the week here. So let's move into, what was I talking about? Man, I can go off, can't I? Let's take a look at gata.org and see if there's anything new out here. If Bitcoin is digital gold, it should be taxed like gold. Interesting article here I just read. By the way, gata.org is a free website that you can put on your bookmark bar, and if you're a gold and silver stacker, you should have it on your bookmark bar. You need to keep in contact. Again, nice thing about these guys, see this right here, the basic confiscation is when you go to the casino, which is COMEX and any other market out there, COMEX, CME, London, whatever, that's our market, but any other market out there, when you go to the casino, it's nice to know who the whales are. And it's nice to know how they manipulate the game. It's also nice to know that how the casino caters to those people. So that's kind of in a, I'm talking about in the gaming world, but you can really apply this to precious metals and all other markets. And gata.org does a great job of explaining all that right here, as does Ted Butler. So do a search on Ted Butler if you're new to my videos as well. Good article here, Bitcoin is digital gold. It should be taxed like gold. This I was not aware of. I knew that gold was what taxed, there can be taxed as 28%, which is kind of crazy. But apparently crypto coins after a year of holding them, they go back to a preferred tax rate, unlike gold. Now that doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys why gold would have a higher long-term tax than digital? I know why, maybe because they don't think digital is going to be around that long. You can't tax something that's not going to be around that long. So when it comes to those other currencies, but that may not necessarily be true. Good article to read. You can read it for free on gata.org. Some other stuff here. The rigging at the very core of the gold market is now officially confirmed. We talk about that. Ronan Manley talks about that. COMEX shorts are frantically getting along with producers, London trader McGuire says. And actually, Ted Butler talks about that in his newsletter, but you have to pay to read that. But he talks about that exact thing, breaks it down. Again, like Ted Butler stuff, always like to read it. What else is going on here? A note on silver fundamentals, a money asset. Seeking Alpha is a site that I like, and you can go there. And I've got the upgrade or the pro version, which allows me to do some different things here. But nice thing about Seeking Alpha, you don't have to have a subscription to look at it either. So go to Seeking Alpha, go to markets here, and one of the things, again, I'm not here just to give you tidbits and give you this or give you that, and not, I'm here to teach you how to do it for yourself. So I'm giving you my reading list, the stuff that I read, the stuff that I look at. I may not necessarily always read the articles to you, but I highly encourage you to read this stuff yourself and know as one of my commenters said, it is not homework, it's a suggestion. So nobody likes to do homework. That's a good point. Thank you for, I forgot who the commenter that brought that up, but thank you for bringing that up. Nobody likes homework, so I'm going to stop referring to homework and just refer it to suggested reading that'll make you smarter than the average bear. You can bookmark this stuff too. What else is going on? Let's just take a look at ZH. Not too much again. I like ZH, as you know, because it's not a single viewpoint. There's all kinds of opinions and viewpoints in here. ZH was talking about gold manipulation and had, not ZH themselves, but they had articles in here written by different people, including Ted Butler, that were talking about gold manipulation years and years and years, when you can't even find an article in corporate media that even talks about it at all, period. So think about that, folks. So is it a conspiracy website? Maybe there are some articles in here that are conspiracy driven, or conspiracy. But remember, conspiracies sometimes and unfortunately turn out to be very true. Conspiracy is not a dirty word. And in fact, it gives you the ability to look at different alternatives, which makes you a smarter investor and a smarter person overall. Who didn't think that, well, there was some suggestion that Biden was going to pick a different, who was it? Brainerd or someone to be the vice, the main guy to replace Powell. But I guess Brainerd's going to be the vice chair now, and they left Powell in that position. This article suggests that the reason they left Powell in this position because he'll provide a great scapegoat for where the economy is going. Interesting viewpoint. Take a read if you like it. It's kind of cool. And wow, folks, I don't know what happened to our Aussie brothers, the people down south, but man, oh man, they are getting fucked royally. I'm sorry. I hope someone bleeps that. Well, I don't care. But that's just crazy, man. That's just crazy. That's crazy dystopian world right there, man. And what else is going on here? OPEC reported threatening response to global corn and SPR. Okay. And nothing great here, just mostly news. There's some, boy, that's a shame right there, man. Why can't we all just get along? Seriously. And what else is going on out here? U.S. dollar spikes as Powell nomination sparks hawkish rate hike. Interesting. So U.S. dollar spikes. Gold kind of, maybe they got their excuse why they dumped gold or got more short positions or whatever they did to monkey hammer prices down. I can sure tell you one thing for sure. Is that the capitulation that you see, like last year when we saw, or this year when we saw in August that $100 or $80 Monday morning wake-up call on gold, and everybody was like, holy crap. It was obvious that it was a monkey hammer. It was obvious it was fraudulent activity that happened probably in thinly traded markets on Globex or something like that, where someone sold a huge amount of gold or silver, gold I think at that time, huge amount of gold on thinly traded markets, only in an attempt to drive the market down. It was obvious as shit, clear as a bell. And but again, you wouldn't read it anywhere in corporate news and heard much about it corporate news. The few experts that have been in denial about this kind of monkey hammering even had to make comments that they said, "Oh, maybe it was a fat finger trade," but they knew it. They all know it. We all know it. We all know what's going on out there in COMEX and the CME and London market. It's highly manipulative. I can tell you this, as a physical trader, a person that does retail physical, wholesale physical, is that the wholesale physical markets are extremely tight right now, and silver and gold is a little bit tight as well, all right? And there is no, let me rephrase it. There is no retail physical capitulation. There has not been. Even since 2012, there was minimal physical gold capitulation by retailers. And it happened over a period of time until 2016. We're in another bull market since 2016. We've seen very little physical gold capitulation and less as the months roll on here. So all this down activity that you see, that you would think that indicates that people are selling gold and silver, is happening only in the bullshit manipulative paper markets, folks. That's it. Volcano Power City. Look, this guy in El Salvador, he's either going to be a hero or a zero. So we'll see. I don't think it was a very smart idea, only because my understanding, and I know people that live down in that region, is that A lot of the poor people down there have real issues with getting access to Bitcoin. They also have issues with using it. There's been issues with theft. You know, when you're poor, you can't afford to have someone steal your Bitcoin and stuff. So, you know, this guy is kind of worries me a little bit. I like people that are kind of think outside the box, but you know, to make your country vulnerable to Bitcoin, dangerous as shit. You know, are they going to be the ones holding the bag? That whole country, are we going to have to bail them out because of this? Tough to say. Let's see what happens. Are investors delusional or exploiting the delusions of others? Maybe a little bit of both. Well, hey, let's move out of here. There's not much to talk about as far as gold and stuff. Oh, an article down here, I read it, but again, just rehashes. Nothing wrong with the two, folks. I recommend you read it, but we would just be rehashing stuff that you and I talk about all the time. And, okay. Oh, I like this little quote here. In his book, Bureaucracy, Ludwig von Mises explains the ultimate basis of an all-around bureaucratic system is violence. As for the bureaucrats making the rules, Mises observes, he who is unfit to serve his fellow citizen wants to rule them. And where was that quote? It was on the American Institute for Economic Research. Folks, I've said also that I'm here to give you things, not just read them to you. One of the best websites out there, highly, highly, highly recommend that you put it on your bookmark bar. It'll make you smarter than the average bear and definitely smarter than most congressmen and senators, that's for sure. It's called the American Institute for Economic Research. Lots of good stuff out there, folks. Put that on your bookmark bar. And let's move to Wall Street Silver. I posted out there the rigging game. The bullion article out there seems to have gotten a lot of attention, 104, and a few comments down there as well. Can't argue with that. Listen, you got to spread the word about this market being rigged, but you also have to not make people fearful, because nobody wants to go to a rigged casino, even though most casinos are rigged somehow. They're rigged for the house, obviously, and in the COMEX market and other markets all over the world, equity markets, you know, you name it, even housing markets. Big corporate entities, the big whales, get favoritism, all right? They get a better deal than the average guy at the table. So they get a huge advantage of being able to manipulate prices and do what they do. So anyways, it's good, it's important to spread this kind of stuff out there. That's why I put it on the Wall Street Silver website. Wall Street Silver is a kind of cool place, and you get a lot of exposure out there. So again, one of the things that I'd like to put out there is how these markets are manipulated, not to worry about it, because ultimately the nice thing about gold and silver is that it's been around for 5,000 years, and the dog is the physical and the tail is the paper markets. And at some point, the dog is going to wag off its tail. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but maybe all the fleas on the tail, manipulating the tail. The fleas would be the banks. Parasites, the fucking parasites they are. Excuse my language. All right, I'm gonna get out of there. Hey, where are we gonna move to? Yes, Friday's video, gold and silver declare bankruptcy. I hope you guys got the ridiculousness of that title for the video there, and it was pretty clearly tongue-in-cheek. If you understand gold and silver, you understand that it will never declare bankruptcy. So that was a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing to catch people off guard and say, what the frick is Brian talking about? But it's pretty, you know, again, you'll never wake up ever, 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 unlike your IRA, unlike your 401k, unlike your retirement accounts, unlike your speculative equity market, you know, your account, your TD Ameritrade, unlike your pension from the city, whatever it may be. You will, with gold and silver, unlike those other things, you will never wake up and hear it went bankrupt, ever. Never happened, never will in our lifetimes at least. That could happen to any other market, any other financial instrument out there, including fiat currencies. Remember, gold and silver has been around for 5,000 years. Okay, I digress. Let's take a look, and I'd like to thank all the watchers. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button too. And where are we going here? Let's see. Wow, lots of comments. I'd like to thank all you folks. Let me kind of blow it up. Show your names, your wonderful names. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let me see if there's some questions I can answer here. An old adage, those who produce value or can repair things will survive. The parasites will starve. You know, I don't believe that all these are parasites necessarily, but for some reason, the highlighted parts right here, Parasites seem to kind of head into those fields right there, unfortunately. But you can get parasitic mechanics as well. So parasites exist everywhere. Unfortunately, they have their biggest impact in the law. They have their biggest impact in finances, and they have their biggest impact in politics. That's why we focus on those things primarily. But we get parasites in every industry, coin industry, the bullion industry. You get parasites in everything. You just again, when it comes to economics, politics, and law, it's really worse. Video guy, okay, where gold comes from, I believe the Fed will way before giving that guy credibility. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Thanks for watching anyway, DC. And Keisha, thank you, I appreciate it. Keisha, again, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Do not trust the government. Interesting comments there. And by the way, folks, go and read these comments. One of the things I like about the folks that comment in my section is they're all very civil, they treat each other nice, and there's some good conversations that go on and that I read, so and some good points and some good information made here. So just because I don't always read your comments, folks, no worries there. I encourage everyone else to. I mean, I don't read them out loud here, trust me, I do read every comment on my page. God created gold, period. Well, okay. Looking for $26 silver. Hager says, another great video. Thank you very much. Let's keep going here. I'm going to see if I got any questions. Deline DeVry says, automakers today are so increasingly around silver to enable the vast technology advances incorporated in modern vehicles. This has resulted in a powerful demand center for silver with projections of nearly 90 million ounces of silver absorbed annually in the automotive industry. Wow. Very, very cool. There's a couple replies out here too. Also copper, gold, and silver. So Deline, that is one of the points that I'm making here, is that especially with silver, there may be a lot of silver above ground, but a lot of it's been thrown away. It's in landfills. It gets put in electronics and cars. It never gets recovered again. And just because there is millions and millions of ounces of silver above ground doesn't necessarily mean it's available. Industry is going to suck away the use of mostly silver here, and we are going to see a major price incline in the price of silver simply because of above ground shortages out there and above ground availability. Availability would be the primary thing. And Joey says, everyone knows that gold comes from petrified pink unicorn. It's pretty funny. Thanks for watching, Joey. Yep, I can't. Thank you, Gomer. I appreciate you watching as well. And gosh, you guys get some funny comments out here. Mortal alien overlords. Oh, thanks. Okay, question here. Just a question: if Bitcoin is good, why is there still places that even accept it? If you buy precious metals from, let's say, APMEX with Bitcoin, they immediately sell it to get the dollar, so they're not left with a high loss for erratic fluctuations. Well, that's the problem, Silver Coin Hunter, is that one of the things that they pushed Bitcoin as is money. It's not money. No one will accept money that has such extreme volatility. That kind of volatility on the downside would be called hyperinflation, okay? Nobody wants that kind of volatility in money, so Bitcoin is not money. In my opinion, it's a highly speculative asset, or highly speculative investment, in my opinion, okay? So that's, again, there's nothing behind it too. At least with gold and silver, you've got industrial uses that decrease the above ground supply of real silver, not the paper stuff, and it's been around for 5,000 years. Again, such a great case there. Let's keep going along here and see what else is going on. Again, I'd like to thank all you guys, Bill, D-Live, and everyone for watching and commenting. Darlene, yep, if you come down this way, make sure you visit us. We're here 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. And industrial uses for silver, we throw it away every day into landfills. Silver is as rare as gold in investable form. Silver is much more valuable precious metal than gold to mankind. Interesting comment there, Sarah, and I really appreciate you commenting and watching. And I agree with your comments. So gold never goes up. Oh, that's pretty funny, thanks. A lot of funny comments out there. Ken Ebank says, I'm just expecting thieves and fraudsters. James says, many people talk about getting gold and silver as if they're going to be the answer to everything. Well, I'm here to tell you that simply isn't true. Trump has, okay. No sweat, James. Appreciate you watching and commenting. And here, I'm going to blow up your comment if someone wants to pause it and read it. Well, I guess that's really about it. I'm going to move into the close of this video right here. My name is Brian Kuzmar. I'm with Commercial Ware Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Been here since 1995 in this location. I've been doing this since 1977, second generation dealer in precious metals and rare coins and paper money as well. I don't know if you knew that. I also have an estate jewelry business. We do jewelry, silver, and other things too. But I digress. We're here to talk about precious metals. And listen, I advertise to beat, if you're local, I don't do any shipping. If you're local, I advertise to beat SD Bullion, JM Bullion, and APMEX Bullion, the three big gorillas out there in the internet sales market. Nothing wrong with those guys, but I can beat their prices, give just as good as advice, and I'm just as competitive them, especially on a local basis. So if you live locally, come by and see me. You'll be glad you met us. And if you don't live locally, not to take anything away from those big online sellers, but keep that money local, folks. Try to find yourself a good local dealer, even if you have to drive an hour or two to do it. Keeping the money local in these times is very important, whether it's precious metals, whether it's tires, whether it's jewelry, whatever it is. I can't stress enough about keeping the money local. Try to buy and sell locally. Hey, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.